Okay, so in this clip, we are going to fix the texture issues of our model. So as you can see here, there is a couple of issues I need to fix. Here, coming in the eyes, there is something in the lips over there. We do have something in the neck. And as well, if I'm going at the beginning of the clip here as well, I do have some weird stuff in the neck as well here. So that's stuff that we can easily fix, and we are going to do that right now by simply selecting the frame we want to work on. For example, frame 56 seems to be good, and we are going to paint out these issues or to use the photo texture to correct them, and then we are going to reproject our correction on the top of our model. That way we are going to be able to mix the initial texture with our corrected texture. So let's go ahead and do that. I will start by making a little bit of room right here. And I will duplicate my model, and be careful, it has to be exactly the same one, because remember, we did some modification in the rotation here. So these two models has to be the same one. And I will connect that model as well to my texture file here. I will put that down for now. We'll see later why. And now I can create another skyline render that I'm going to connect to the same camera as well. I'm going to hold the frame 56 here. So I'm going to look inside the time menu for the frame hold. I'm going to connect that frame hold between my scanner render and my camera, as you can see. And here in my frame hold, I'm going to put 56. Okay, so now I'm sure that with this skyline render, if I'm viewing it, if I'm connecting my viewer to it, I will always look at the frame 56. Alright, so now let's start fixing these issues. So I will start by creating a roto paint node, so I can create it with the P key. So let's start our paint job by trying to fix this little issue on the top of the left eye here. So we'll come over here and select the clone tool. And with my command key, I can offset the brushes, and then I create this light gray cycle, which is my source texture, and the other one is going to be my brush, which will paint the source texture. So now I will simply come over here and start painting a little bit as I can. So obviously I'm not doing pretty good for now, so I will just hit Control Z or Command Z if you're on a Mac. You can come back at any time modifying the offsets of your texture source by holding down the Command key or Control key. And if you want to adjust the brush size, you can hold the Shift key. So basically I want to try to do the best paint job as possible to try to remove slowly the imperfection here. So it may be just a click here or here. If you have a graphic tablet, it will work better. I don't have one currently, but you can still do it with the mouse. So alright, so I'm just trying to fix as best I can. So I'm just going to do it quite roughly right now. You can spend a lot of time on it if you want to make it perfect, but for the sake of this course, I'm going to move a little bit faster. So it's not done yet, but I'll finish that a little bit later. For now, I'd like to show you the process. So before projecting my correction onto my texture, I'd like to frame hold my correction. I could go over here and select all my clone strokes, and inside lifetime put them to all frames, and that will affect all my frames. But I believe it's easier to see visually the operation we are doing in Nuke if I'm putting another frame hold right here. So now I'm holding my correction, and my correction is gonna be here all the time. So now I want to project back my correction onto my main texture. And for that, I'm going to use a project 3D node. So either you can look for the node with the tab key, or you can go inside the 3D menu and inside the shader menu. Here, project 3D. Alright, this node will take this image as an input and the camera we are projecting from. So we are projecting from the frame 56 of this camera here. So I can just use that guy here. Okay, so right now it seems that my nodes and my connection could quickly become a noodle plate. But don't worry, we are going to reorganize all these nodes a little bit later. So for now, I will simply project my correction onto my object. But if I do that directly, I will create new issues. Let's have a look. So I'm projecting my 3D I'm projecting my new texture onto my geometry. Now, if I'm looking at the back of my model, I created new issues with this new projection. So first, to fix the issue we're having right now, I want to change a little bit the way my project 3D node is working. So I will adjust the project on mode of my project 3D to be in front side only. And this is because the modification I've done is only supposed to be projected on the front of my model. Now, in order to avoid any repeated texture, I will need as well to turn the occlusion mode to self. Now, the projection is affecting only the areas seen from frame 56. So now the problem is that, okay, I fixed some of the issues, at least I fixed just the high for now, but I lost the rest of my texture. So this is why we're not going to project only this texture on the top of our model, but we are going to merge both of them. And for doing that, we need a merge matte node. So the merge matte node will be as well inside the 3D menu, inside shader, and here merge matte. So there we go. Now I will be able to merge my 3D projection on the top of my texture. And now you can see that my entire texture is here, but my eye is fixed as well. Now let's have a closer look to what's going on. So here, if I disable this, I can see that my eye is fixed. However, I could have created some other issues at the edges of my 3D projection here. So this is why I'm going to try to keep only the small area of that projected texture here. What I mean here is right now I'm projecting the entire texture here. But what I want to project right now is only the little part of the eyelid I fixed here. So what I'm going to do here is to simply draw a roto around that part to isolate it. Okay, so maybe it's pretty hard to remember where exactly is this location. So what I can do here is to create a merge node with the M key, and I will connect my frame hold here and the skyline render, and I will set my merge mode to difference. And if I connect my viewer to it, I will be able to see only the place where I did some changes. So here I have a small place where I did some changes. So I will use that only as a guide to draw my roto. So I'll create a roto node with the O key, and I will draw my roto around it. So it could be a garbage matte. You don't have to be super accurate. Okay, now that I did that, I will use that roto as an alpha here to cut my projection. So we'll simply come over here and with the K key, create a copy node, connect the copy node after my frame hold, but before my project 3D, and the B pipe is going to the frame hold, the A pipe is going to the roto, and now I will simply create a pre-mult node, so by tapping tabulation key and then looking for the pre-mult node, and here we are. So now if I'm looking after my pre-mult node, I can see that I have on my image only this tiny part here. It's the Q key to disable the overlay. So I can see that I'm going to project only this little part here. So now if I'm putting my viewer at the end of my comp after my final skyline render here, I can see that my eye is fixed, but I'm not generating any new issues like the one we had on the cheek here. So for example, if I'm disabling the copy and the pre-mult node here, I can see that I had this black line on the cheek, but if I enable these nodes, then my correction is applied only on the eye shutter and we don't have the cheek issue anymore. So this is it for this clip. In the next one, we will learn another method to fix texture issues by using the original photos. So see you there.